All right, now let's get to some of your thoughts on our big story from last night. We talked about the differences between journalists and social media influencers, especially when it comes to media coverage of the ICE building in Portland. It's an open secret that conservative voices on social media are getting special access to the building, both inside and on the roof, and access to federal officials themselves. Case in point, Secretary Kristi Noem's visit last week. We had no idea about it until someone with a conservative account on social media made a video saying he was flying to Portland to meet up with the DHS secretary here. We had a good discussion last night. We heard the conservative side of things from radio host Lars Larson, and then we had esteemed journalism professor Al Tompkins join the show live. If you missed our segment last night, you can find it on the KGW YouTube page anytime. Okay, the vast majority of your comments to us sounded like this one from Chris.
I really appreciate this type of reporting. It's educational, it's informative, and I think it is exactly what we need to be able to teach people how to think between influencers and journalism and what's important. And I just think you're hitting, you're hitting the mark. You are doing good reporting, and please keep it up because we need this.
Cynthia wrote in saying, your story discussing the difference between journalists versus influencers was well put by you. Your obligation to be balanced is shown often. Trump's roundtable of blowhards investigating the crime of flag burning was disturbing. Are we revisiting Vietnam? You journalists belong on the ICE roof too. Keep looking into this.
Thank you for having Mr. Tompkins on to explain to those people how journalists are supposed to act, and unlike those people kissing Trump's butt, those guys are not journalists.
And Deb kept it short and sweet, writing, to me, a journalist informs, an influencer inflames. Lori called us saying there was one element of our segment yesterday she felt was missing. Let's listen.
Where you work, there's accountability. And influencers don't seem to have it. You can say anything online, and there doesn't seem to be accountability.
In our discussion about the rules and oversight that we face in this business, there's serious accountability for us. Not so much for those who post online, but we did get one email from a viewer who signed as a conservative American, writing, I wouldn't have invited your station to ICE. The bias I see every day is clear. There has not been anything positive on the big wins for all Americans that came from the new administration. Just once, I'd like to see a balance, not a bias. I think you do an excellent job. You probably don't have control because you work for someone who has their own liberal agenda. Okay, for what it's worth, we actually have a lot of control on this show. We have editorial discussions about these things because that kind of dialogue is important. And so is the dialogue that we have with you, viewers, because we'll say it time and time again, we read your emails and listen to all your voicemails, something a viewer named Fred really appreciates.
You are the only broadcast medium that I know of that lets the public have a voice, like me, in responding to the issues that you raise, including even issues that I've suggested that I'd like to see you raise. So kudos to the story.
Well, thanks for the message, Fred. And thanks to the rest of you for writing in or calling us. If we can't talk about the issues that we're facing or things that we disagree on, then we'll never find a solution.